Hello guys, Devin here. So we got the top 8 round of Musa on Zefra, and I believe it's versus Flunder. I've watched this replay before. I'm not gonna lie, it's not Musa's best work, but we'll get through it. We'll explain things he could have done, and like what both players could have done to improve. So yep, so we'll get into it. So Flunder wins a die roll, starts with Duality, grabs Impermanence because he already has a copy of Advent. So Musa's opened Unplayable, he's opened Gamma, Nine Pillars, Wendy, Mystic Mine, War, so even a top deck doesn't save him here. Like a well-placed Gamma can end the Flunder player's turn, potentially, but I think the Flunder player just has too much here. So, but maybe, like obviously Mystic Mine can stall for a few turns, so that's why he's playing it out. Unfortunately, the Flunder player did open Feather Duster, so this Mine probably won't do much. So, we're going to speed this up a little bit because, yeah, Flunder player will be comboing. Yeah, so add that back, add the trap. So it's a usual board of like barrier, statue, trap, and the imperm. So Musa knows about the imperm, knows about the trap. So all the interruption is known, but this hand is awful. The only line of play is Mystic Mine Pass, and unfortunately, so yeah, unfortunately it Duster. So okay, so game two, Musa's going first. So he sided in Ibley. Even though Flunder do not special summon, it is a good side in because they cannot evenly and they cannot lightning storm you. Um, there are better cards to grab off your Croc combo, but there's a lot of cards that we take out in this matchup. Like post siding, you can take out some copies of mine because you're going first and they have the back row hate now. You take out like Path, so there's a few cards you take out in the Flunder matchup. So it's gonna Prosperity for 6. So this is back when he was on free Blue. I believe he's on 1 now. So Prosperity. I think he grabbed Providence, so he's gonna Providence. The reason why he's not going Terraforming into Oracle and he's using Providence is I believe he's going to Terraforming grab Zombie World. Which we side like one Zombie World because Flunder can be a difficult matchup and we have multiple ways of getting to Zombie World, so post siding it's not that difficult. She's gonna normal Ibley. This is just to play around an imperm because now they can't imperm, they can't lightning storm, they can't evenly. He's gonna Pentagon on 1 and new because we saw the imperm game 1, so playing around it is worth it. So gonna grab the 9 pillars just so we have an Omni to protect our zombie world. Yep, there it is. So now we've got an Omni to protect the zombie world. The Flunder player has Dark Wall anymore, and top deck's imperm, and it's dead. It's not like there's anything good to imperm anyway, but. So gonna Prosperity for 6. I'm just gonna let that go through, because he can just negate whatever he grabs off of it. Doesn't excavate any back row hate, unfortunately, so he's gonna grab Map. Yep, that's probably the best card there. If he was on Mine, if he didn't side it out, maybe you could Mine here, but he's gonna choose to Map. It's gonna reveal the Rabina, the Tokan, normal the Rabina, some chat going on. Okay, so he doesn't use the effect of Rabina because he doesn't want to be locked out of his extra deck, so he can't tribute summon because of Zombie World, so he's just going to normal summon, make Link Karibo. So that was the normal summon off the map. And then he's going to use his actual normal summon on Eglin. He's going into Dark. He used, yeah, okay, so he used one too many bodies for that, so he's just going to make Dark. So that's the downside of giving him Ibley. So obviously he used it for Link Mat, so now he can like try and go into access code. So he's gonna go like Link Charmer, attempt to revive Ibley. We're just gonna let that go through. So this is Musa's mistake that we discussed. Musa apparently didn't know that like Flunder play access code, but they do just play 15 extra deck cards that they never go through. So I can't blame him. But you would usually 9 pillars to charm here, so he shuffles it back so they're not getting the ad, and you just stop the bodies so that they can't make access code. So now he can make access code and Musa can't respond to it. And he's going to pop Zombie World. So he's going to pop Zombie World. However, he's not going to pop Zombie World. He thought, you know, rather than popping the Zombie World or the set counter trap, he thought his priority was popping the Zefra Pilica for some reason. And, you know, didn't read Death Providence as a Balinx effect. Even if it didn't, Musa could just top deck another scale, Prosperity dig for a scale, or even crash new to get a scale. So this was possibly the worst access code pop I've ever seen. You needed a pop Zombie World here. So I'm just gonna Alamarge the new, force him to attack it to get the pop, to get the ad. So he chooses not to. He's just gonna leave it. Then activate the Zefra effect. So we only got like an imperm to play through. Of course, Musa doesn't know about this, so we're gonna see how he chooses to play around this. He's normal the Thubin. He's not gonna use an effect because he doesn't want to lose a scale. It's not worth it. He'd rather just make a link 2. So he's gonna make Beyond. He's not gonna activate the effect because otherwise Zefra scale will turn back to 5. It's a thing to know. He's just making it for a link 2 with 2 arrows and also for the pop. And he's gonna use access code arrow for another pensum. This is another one of his mistakes. He attempts to activate the Beyond here, but he catches it that actually he can't activate the effect because you've got to pen summon monsters with 2 different levels in its arrow. So because of that, he doesn't get the Beyond effect. So he was supposed to summon Thubin here and like New over here. So it's a bit unfortunate. So he's only using New effect. Guy's going to imperm it. And this was yet another mistake. So he goes make Lambda, and I think he's gonna try Prosperity dig for a ward out of this access code. And he doesn't reveal anything, so he's just gonna, unless he sided a second Zombie World, which I don't think he did, this metaverse isn't gonna do much, so he's probably gonna grab the Gamma because he made Lambda, but that does still has no answer to access code, so this is another mistake. After he had messed up the Beyond, he needed to have just make Sheridan. I very much doubt he banished the Sheridan off Prosperity. It's usually, yeah, so he had the Sheridan still. He should have Sheridan overlaid into Sheridan using the 2 news and dealt with the access code that way. The reason he didn't want to do that is because he didn't want to make his 9 pillars dead, but at that point you can't leave the access code alive, you will lose, so it was your only way. So yeah. So a few mess ups here. And I believe this time the guy actually pops the correct thing. Yep. So this is a bit of a mess. So we have some other replays uploaded where it's better technical play from Musa's part, but I think this is still good to showcase, you know, like what he could do and how he could have won this. So, you know, mistakes happen. So he still can play, but unless he can OTK, he's in a bit of a he's in a bit of a difficult situation because he's resolved 2 prosperities. I believe he has no Boral Sword left, so his OTK lines are kind of down. Because he can't OTK, the Thunder player will just outpace him. When you don't have Zombie World, it's very difficult at this point. You need to OTK or you need to have Zombie World up. Because he's got what, 9 pillars, so he's probably going to stall a few turns with the negate and the pop. So we're going to gravity control out this. So counter traps aren't very effective versus Flunder because they just chain block versus it. It's really annoying to deal with. Just going to map. I'm just going to war. I think that's correct. Only thing is, because Chainlink 2 War, New will miss timing, because it's a when, unfortunate. It's a thing to keep in mind. So, if you're versus Dragon Link, for example, when they activate Boot Sector, if you want to get your new ad, you're better off warring on the activation of Boot Sector, not on the effect of Boot Sector. Like, on the res of the activation of Boot Sector, so. Not do it, just don't war in chain and your new will resolve, so. Yeah, just gonna chain block, so there's literally nothing to 9 pillars. I doubt he's going to leave anything. He's gonna chain block everything, so. Yeah, this is just how ridiculous Slender is if you just let them snowball like in terms of card advantage. It's just so annoying. At this point, there is actually no interruption to deal with, but Moose has just not got much of an extra deck left to get like an OTK with. So, and you just can't deal with all this chain blocking. So he's gonna try. He's gonna go Zefra effect. Don't think he has a line of plays. He's just gonna pen summon one. Yeah, he's just gonna pen summon one. I guess you get Divine Strike? No, another War. Yeah, that makes more sense, because Divine Strike just gets chain blocked, so just gonna end turn. At this point, I'm gonna play a top deck's trap. Normal summon Egglin. Gonna use it. We're gonna wall the M-Pen. So at this point the guy's still going to be able to tribute summon, but so cool thing is here, if he tribute summons Riser, there's nothing to chain block it. So we're just gonna pillars that. I'm gonna use new effect. So Flounder player shouldn't have anything else to do. However, unfortunately he did top deck the trap, so that's a bit of a pain. Even if he didn't, I'm pretty sure Musa loses anyway. There's just so many resources on this side, so I can't really exactly remember how this replay goes. I just remember some of the misplays. So Oracle, grab Raxi. He has a third prosperity, but not left of the extra deck. Only like 5 cards left in the extra deck, so just gonna pen summon 2 to make Horus. There's nothing really to Horus, to be honest. Okay, yep. So he just had the trap. That's just unfortunate. I don't think there was a level 10 he had left in the deck. Maybe he had Chengying. Yeah, so he had Chengying. I think he was looking to make possibly just to like get a really big boy on the field, but because I think Chengying might have been massive, right? Like 4,900 would have been enough for game, but guys just gonna pop off here. Yeah, so Musa realizes there's no win con, so unfortunately that's just how it goes. Could have gone to game 3 and then it would have depended on that point because Flounder player won die roll. Just for some information, the Flounder player actually ended up winning the whole thing. So this was round 8. Unfortunately, Musa couldn't go higher, but he did really well in Swiss. It's just some misplays let him down, but yeah, I think you can still learn things from this. Obviously, just remember that like Flounder do play Zeus, they do play access code. Like use your counter traps on stopping them getting Zeus if you've locked them into Zombie World, and at that point you just beat them down. So, and obviously Musa's made a few mistakes with Beyond before. It's just a new card. It's just not used to it, I believe. So, still learning, still reading it. You know, to this day. Eventually he'll finish reading it, but yeah. So that's the replay. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.